Okay, well, I got my baby now, got my apartment. What's next, Miss Fern? Well, I'll tell you what. Then real life begins to kick in. You know, after you've hung out with your friends, you invited them over, you got your apartment going, got a piece of furniture maybe, or some furniture if you're blessed to have people give it to you or you bought it yourself, but it's one step at a time. So you're building your apartment. So when I got my first apartment, now I got a table set, I got my living room set, and I got my the baby's bed and myself and my boyfriend. Well, you know what? Life really begins to begin into life because you know what? There's a reoccurrence of expenses, food, clothing, detergent, all of those things I never really sat down and thought about. Like, how am I going to take and make this work for me? How am I going to, there's no going back home. So the thing is, I got to begin to figure out how these bills are going to get paid. And then I began to look around and go, oh my gosh, there's nothing left. At the end of the month, remember, I had to go on public assistance when I first had my daughter. I worked when I could. I got an apartment at some, what do they call, like day labor. I had a lot of the people, you know, I was around, they were doing day labor. The guys were doing like something with they put walls up and taping or painting, you know, some of them in mechanics. But the thing was that now I got a baby and I have really no skills and the money was running short every month because I'm going to share with you that money did not last long. It was already gone 6 months before I even got the first next. So I'm like, after watching the soap operas, remember, I'm like looking at the soap operas and it's like, I think that took me a while. I think it took me like a year or so. I was like, these people getting paid. And I didn't say it like that in my head. I was like, these suckers getting paid. The girl that was on one of the soap operas, you know, into the story with one of my daughter's names behind her. But I was like, no. Correction on that one. It was somebody else. But anyway, the reality began to set in, and we don't think about these things, that every day is a day where you have to produce. Every day is a function that has to be done. Either you do it or you sit by the wayside and life goes on. Anyway, life's going to go on day in and day out. So I just want to encourage my young teenage parents, keep going, don't give up, be encouraged. And those of my young ladies, especially the younger ones living in this life where everything is glitz and glamour and you want to be like the one over there and the starlights and the don't live by that. Don't live by what you look at with your natural eyes. And I want to share this to you, especially with my younger girls and my younger ladies, because it's passing. You know, they talk about the wind. You see the wind, but you can't really see the wind. You feel the wind, but you can't see the wind. You see things happening in the wind, but you don't really see the wind. So when you're looking at these people on television or social media or around you and they're doing this and doing that, there's something behind every story. There's a reality. So you know what, to my young ladies, don't look at the glamour and look at these people cheesing and smiling. You don't know. You really don't know. And I want to encourage you, begin to see more for yourself. For my young parents, see more for yourself and for your children. My young teenage girls growing up, you're looking at the girls in the relationship with these guys. I used to look at them. There's a lot behind that. There's a lot of sometimes good in the beginning, but then sometimes it becomes tough because if you're not grown up and you want to be grown up, you begin to put on a mask and a character that sometimes you can't carry that weight. And after that weight of always styling us up, or I'll say putting on the eyelashes and the hair, and then you look behind the person and you go, is that person happy? Is that person excited? Do they really have a joyful life? Do they really have money like that? Because a lot of it is for show. It's for trying to put on an identity that's not you. And when you look behind a lot of those famous people, that's not them. That's a character they play. That's a character to take and produce money. It's not the character of their life of ease all the time. When I begin to hear about some of the things, and I've heard, and I would love to have heard more, is don't believe everything you look at on that television or social media or in the magazines, or that girl who looks like she got it going on with that guy and they just loving on each other, sliding on each other. No. I'm speaking to my young ladies, period, who need a reality check before reality checks you. It will check you, good or bad, and I want it to be for the good. You have a life. You have a lot of potentials. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of things you could begin to do. But you don't have to run out there looking like the girl next door to you, looking like your sister, looking like your cousin, wanting to be in the inn. I wanted to be in the inn, and the inn was very costly because at the same time, they don't even know where they are, a lot of them. They're just trying to live a portrait of a portrait that isn't even reality. So I'm speaking to my young ladies today. Please begin to really stop. Stop looking at those girls and those relationships and those guys and those relationships, and they got it going on. A lot of them are really going through tough times, and I pray for each and every one of them that really begin to stop and look at their life and say, do I really want this? Do I really want the glitz, the glamour, the star, the this, the that? Because you really don't know what comes to it. Stop trying to grow up before your time. Enjoy your life in the age that you are. You are beautiful because God made you, point blank. You don't need nobody to tell you, oh, you're beautiful, oh, you're this, oh, you're that. When somebody tells you that, you say thank you, and then you keep it moving, and not in this hoardiness. You look at it and say, is my inside beautiful? Am I a beautiful person on the inside? Because sometimes we can have been so hurt by life and things that were said to us, whether it was by our parents, our cousins, our relationships, that break our spirit. And we need to know that we're more important to God than anyone else in the whole world. You are important. You are lovable. You may be beautiful. Fine, throw it out the window. Fine is not what's happening. You're beautiful on the inside first, but what does your attitude and your character represent? You don't have to run out there looking like the girl next door. You don't know what she goes through at home. I always told my children growing up, I always told them, friends, I said you might have associates, but friends, a friend is someone you know, you love, you like, and you trust. You don't know these people. You know of them. But like this young guy told me years ago, he said, you don't know me. I was like, yes, I do. He said, you don't know me. He said, you know of me, but you don't know me. And from that point on, I began to have to do some assessments. Guess what, y'all? Get to know yourself in a good way so that you can have a great character growing up, young ladies, and live the best life that God has given you, because there's better days ahead. So this is Miss Fern of a word of teaching and encouragement to you. Stop being older than you are. Be who God called you to be and live the best life that you can. So you have a great day, and Miss Fern will be coming back talking with you later. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.